Many of them have tried every drug that you've heard of. And these people come to me because they haven't been relieved by any of these things.
A lot of people know it as an anesthetic, some know it as a club drug. Now ketamine is being used to treat severe depression. We begin with what's being called a medical miracle by some. It's a common anesthetic found in hospitals all over the world. But now doctors have discovered a new use for ketamine. Here's producer John Burnley.
I'm not entirely sure when it all started, but it seems to me, over the past few decades at least, many Americans, or maybe even the human race as a whole, are collectively battling a silent, extremely difficult to diagnose disease. It's called depression, and its effects can be deadly. Maybe we're just becoming more open to discussing depression, or maybe all the newfangled gadgets designed to make our lives easier are really making our lives more difficult. But that's a report in itself that needs much more research by someone way more qualified than myself. Anyway, a possible new treatment could be available for those battling chronic cases of the blues.
Show me an arm.
Lisa Newman has been battling depression for more than 30 years. She says she's finally finding relief with ketamine infusions.
It's completely changed my life. I've cut my antidepressants in half, which I never thought that I would do.
Ketamine is a powerful anesthetic and pain reliever known as the party drug Special K. Now, the drug is gaining popularity to treat severe depression symptoms.
Feel a little squeezing on your arm.
Dr. Stephen Mandel runs ketamine clinics of Los Angeles. Patients receive small doses of ketamine through infusions. He says, while antidepressants take several weeks to work, ketamine kicks in within hours, and the effects last up to 3 months.
Many of them have tried every drug that you've heard of, and some you haven't. And these people come to me because they haven't been relieved by any of these things.
A study just published from San Diego researchers shows pain patients who received ketamine reported less depression, but many experts have questions about ketamine's long-term effects on the mind and body. The American Psychiatric Association has not endorsed it and says more research is needed.
How was that dose for you?
Dr. Mandel works with his patients' physicians before starting treatment. Richard Hall has been doing infusions for the last 7 months.
I think ketamine is a miracle.
His wife says it changed their lives.
I'm seeing him able to enjoy his life in a more fulfilling way than he's been able to do in many years.
The ketamine infusions cost several $1,000s for a series of treatments. For The Edge, I'm producer John Burnley.
We had another round of severe weather today. It's still going on in parts of East Texas. That's the southern part of our area. And as we look down there, we've still got some warnings in effect. Angelina, Nacogdoches, Sabine, St. Augustine counties, severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45. Main threat right now is damaging thunderstorm winds and hail. Not so much tornadoes, but we also could see some heavy rainfall, which we've seen for some areas during the day. And you can see that much of the southern part of the area is where the action is now, but nothing coming in behind it. And that's certainly some good news. Close-up look also shows we've got Sabine County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Sabine, St. Augustine, and Shelby. That goes until 7:15 as more of those storms move through that area. But again, it's just the southern part of the area right now. This is the area that's under severe thunderstorm watch. That will go until midnight tonight. Some of our East Texas counties could be dropped as we go through the night and everything moves into Louisiana. Right now, 65 degrees in Tyler. Northwest winds at 24 miles per hour. Rainfall about 1/4 inch at the camera site today. And nothing really coming in behind this. There is one area of thunderstorms which moved into the Childress vicinity up toward the Panhandle and South Plains. But generally, we're going to see high pressure taking over. That'll mean some cool temperatures like we're seeing right now in the 60s and an absence of rainfall for at least the next several days. That's looking good as we'll have sunshine through the weekend, and we'll be back into the 80s by the time Sunday afternoon gets here. Brian?
Thank you much, John. Tonight, you'll meet victims of a sophisticated email scam that's sweeping the country. It cost one couple $200,000. A big chunk of their retirement gone. Tonight, Jay Olstad from our Minneapolis station investigates how it could happen to you.
Steve and Claudia Tadovich moved to the Twin Cities to be closer to their grandkids.
We get to see band concerts, we get to see sporting events. It's really been a blessing.
After renting at first, they were just days away from closing on this townhome.
This is the email that came from Courtney.
It looked like it was from Courtney Pennington at Edgewater Title, the company handling the sale.
And attached is the buyer's closing statement.
with accurate details about their real estate closing.
And the numbers look right.
And with it, instructions about how to make the final payment, not by an old-fashioned check, but by a modern bank-to-bank wire transfer
This is the account number.
that had to be sent before the scheduled closing.
I thought it was going to be so simple, and it turned out to be a nightmare, really.
They trusted the email, followed the instructions, and showed up at Edgewater Title for the closing.
We were sitting in a little room with the sellers, and the closing person goes to go check on the check, and she's gone, and she's not coming back, and she's not coming back, and she's not coming back. And she finally comes back to the room and says she's not finding it.
Turns out this email and these wiring instructions were fake. Instead of sending their money to the title company's account at Venture Bank, the money had been wired to the crook's account at Bank of America, and from there, immediately transferred again.
By then the money was gone.
And they're not alone. The FBI says they're seeing similar email scams nationwide.
Over the past 3 years, we have tracked approximately 14,000 victims in the United States with a fraud loss approaching $1 billion. And so it's becoming a very big issue for us.
That's what got stolen.
How could it happen? The FBI can't comment on ongoing investigations, and neither can Lakeville Police, who took the first report.
This is very sophisticated.
So to find out, Carol Levin took the emails to Mark Lanterman, a private expert in computer crime. On the surface, the emails may look legitimate.
You can see the coding that makes up an email.
But Lanterman says the coded information hidden inside them tells a different story.
This came from Courtney.
Remember that email Steve got, supposedly from Courtney in Minnesota?
The originating IP address does not come from Minnesota.
Digging deeper into the code, Lanterman actually traces the email halfway around the world.
The email originated using a server that's located in Romania.
Bucharest, Romania, to be exact, for years known as a hotbed for hacking.
So who was it? To find out who's behind an overseas internet address or an offshore bank account, authorities need search warrants. And that's where investigators can sometimes run into roadblocks.
Other countries don't necessarily care about an American search warrant, and the criminals know that.
Somebody's computer got hacked somewhere along the way.
Authorities are still trying to figure out how the thieves even knew about Steve's real estate closing. Did they have an insider feeding them information, or did they hack into someone's computer and read other emails about the sale?
Just unbelief that this actually happened to us.
The question this couple has, why didn't anyone involved warn them? Before you trust any instructions you get in an email, verify them first.
A simple phone call, and everything would be fine.
Without that warning, as it stands now,
no.
There's little hope the money they lost in an email scam will ever be recovered.
Unless something changes, we'll never see a penny of it. It's gone in a keystroke.
A recommendation where you can go to learn how to protect yourself from scams, the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Head to ic3.gov. There's information on all sorts of financial scams, warnings about legitimate-looking emails that can lead to trouble. You'll also find a link to file a complaint with the FBI. And feel free to give us a recommendation that you think we should share with East Texas. You can always get our attention with that hashtag EdgeNation. If you like crime dramas like Bones or CSI, you may have seen an episode that talked about a body farm and the investigators, both 2- and 4-legged.
It's a game to them, but I can only imagine what it's like losing someone and not knowing where they are.
We shed some light on some very special detectives. It's coming up.
I'll wait for you. Sleight of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails she makes me wait. And I wait without you. With or without you. With or without you. Through the storm we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you. With
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook Live on this Wednesday afternoon. I'll be honest with you, I think everybody in the newsroom has no idea what day of the week it is. After the tornadoes on Saturday, we were in here on Sunday and then Monday and the recovery efforts. And speaking of which, it's Wednesday, by the way. Speaking of which, make sure you tune in, or actually log on to cbs19.tv and go to the Texas Cares, right there. cbs19.tv, Texas Cares, and help donate. What it is it's 10 of our Tegna stations. Tegna is our ownership group, and we have stations throughout the country, but there's 10 of us right here in Texas. One's in Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, whatnot. What we're gonna do is we're going to collect all that money, every penny, and give it to the Salvation Army so folks that were affected by those tornadoes get the money they need to help recover. So we're just really looking forward to you guys donating. Texas Cares, cbs19.tv. Thanks for tuning in. We're a couple of minutes away from coming back here. Well, how long we got? 1 minute, less than a minute. So I'll answer some stuff and answer some comments in the next break. Thanks for watching, everyone. Well, it's kind of an outdoor laboratory to study what happens to a body after death. Florida is just weeks away from opening the nation's 7th body farm, and it's not without controversy. The plans for that site are near Tampa, and Schindler shows us what life lessons researchers and law enforcement hope to learn from the dead.
Hi.
No kisses,
Wow, that
no
was
kisses.
a mouth kiss.
No
nice.
Good thing you like dogs, right?
Yeah.
On a recent morning in the hills of western North Carolina,
No, easy, easy.
a dozen dogs dying to get to work to find the dead.
When I put the collar on, that says signal that we're going to search for a cadaver. We go find them? We go find them?
Carlos Robinson and his dog Czar can use just about any piece of clothing to train to find the living.
Good, good. Alzheimer's, maybe a child has wandered off in the woods.
But training to find the dead requires a body.
And the reason I like to come to a place like this, unless you're really doing a real search, you don't get bodies, whole bodies, you know. To train on something like this is just awesome.
This site at Western North Carolina University has regular classes for canine handlers.
Get to work.
It features bodies in shallow graves, as well as some composted in ways that can confuse dogs. But when they find one,
Good job, boy, attaboy.
they are rewarded.
That's what he's working for, is that ball. That's the only reason he does this.
It's a game to them, you know, and they want to please you and they want to be successful at the game. Find him. Where is he?
Trainer Patty Brasky-Michael says the value in the site is that it allows dogs to train on a range of human remains, from fresh to fully skeletonized.
The dog will sometimes pause. Show me. And they'll look at you for direction. And so what you want them to do is work it out.
While some trainers rely on bones or bits of tissue, she says there's no substitute for real-world experience.
Good girl. I'm grateful that it's here. You know, the more you can practice and have facilities like this across the country to practice, you know, the better. Where is he?
And while the dogs are having fun, the trainers say it's no game to them.
You know, we take it very seriously, but I can only imagine what it's like losing someone and not knowing where they are.
Good girl. Come on, find more.
To be able to come and train, it's a wonderful program, and I hope it continues and expands.
Attaboy.
Well, producer Libby has found another story that's capturing hearts all over the world.
I took out my hand and we all yelled surprise, and he was just staring at it. His eyes were getting bigger and bigger every second.
Meet the Texas family who created a blockbuster-style video store inside their home for a son with autism. It's worth a 2-minute wait. We'll see you then. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Facebook. I'm going to take a drink while I'm talking. But that's what you can do on Facebook Live, right? In the breaks. You don't have to watch the commercials. You can just watch me take sips of water. Trust me, it's water in my Michigan cup. But I want to say thanks to everyone that's tuning in on Facebook Live this evening. Thomas, Victor, Carrie, thank you so much. Have a person, let's see who shared tonight's video. Oh, Carrie, thanks for sharing. Maybe we'll get the word out there. Some pretty cool stories on the show tonight. If you just watched the tease, we have a story about a boy with autism, and they created a like blockbuster video style movie collection for him in his house. You'll see it. And then Vanity Plates, of course, too. I tweeted about that, didn't I? Tweeted about the Vanity Plates, rejected Vanity Plates. And then, of course, don't forget Texas Cares. I'll pop it up right here, I guarantee it. Make sure you go to cbs19.tv, Texas Cares. Give what you can, folks. Any little bit helps to those folks that were devastated by those tornadoes over the weekend. It was bad. I got a chance to go out to Van Zandt County. It was nasty there. You know, people are trying to recover. And it's not just Van Zandt County. We had it all over East Texas where folks were affected by this tornado, lost everything in some situations. So Texas Cares is 10 Tegna stations. We're a Tegna group of stations. We're owned by Tegna Communications, and 10 of us here in Texas, all those, everybody who donates to all those stations, all those go to the Salvation Army. So I'll talk to you again in the next break. They are photos seen by hundreds of thousands of people. A South Texas father pulling out all the stops to make sure his son would have his own video store after their local Blockbuster closed down. Our border correspondent, Oscar Margain, has this special story.
With autism, you have your good days and you have your bad days. Well, this is one that worked.
So this is it, huh?
Yeah.
When the Zuniga family learned their Blockbuster store in Mission, Texas was closing its doors for good last week, they knew it would devastate their son, Hector Jr.
He was walking differently. He was not himself, so he knew that he was losing something.
Hector Jr. loved visiting the video store, picking out a favorite movie. With only a handful of Blockbusters left in the country, it was their last chance to save the vintage video rental experience for the 20-year-old son who has autism.
For 7 years, more or less, he was going to the store at least once or twice a week.
As the store cleared out their merchandise, the Zunigas bought a video rack with more than 60 movies. They set it up at home, brought Hector Jr. into the room, eyes closed, for the big reveal.
I took out my hand and we all yelled surprise, and he was just staring at it. His eyes were getting bigger and bigger every second.
Hector Jr.'s excitement was captured by these 4 pictures that were later uploaded to Twitter by his brother Javier. No one could have guessed how fast the family's love would spread on social media.
I just wanted to share something that my parents did that I thought was amazing.
The Zunigas say the past week has brought them closer, not just as a family.
This is his way of telling me he loves me. He grabs your earlobe.
But also within the autism community.
All of a sudden the spotlight is on Hector. All of a sudden the planet knows what my son looks like. That's my main takeaway, for even if it was just for a few days, my son had friends all over the world. And that is the one big thing for me. Good boy.
The Zuniga family says the only thing missing in Hector Jr.'s routine is this drop box. Now the family says Dish, the company that acquired Blockbuster's assets, contacted them yesterday and said that they'd be donating one soon. In Hidalgo County on the Texas-Mexico border, I'm Oscar Margain reporting.
Oh, very cool story. Vanity Plates, they are pretty popular. More popular than ever, in fact. But many of them are denied and tossed out each year. I'll look at some of the good, the bad, and the downright stupid. Coming up in 2.
And every time I go out, yeah, I hear it from this one, hear it from that one, that you got someone new. my head, you're still in my bed. Maybe I'm just a fool. Do you think of me like what we used to be? What we used to be. Now that I'm not around, now I'm acting strange. You bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I don't wanna know.
All right, folks, hey, thanks for watching on Facebook Live this evening. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, and we're continuing to pub Texas Cares because it's an important cause. Even if you're watching online, you're not from this area, just to give you an idea of what happened here in East Texas, the devastation of a confirmed 6 tornadoes, one now upgraded to an EF4, I believe another one's an EF3, we had a couple EF1s. But it doesn't matter the designation, it's the devastation that it played on East Texas in the Van Zandt County area, up towards Emory, up towards Rains. I mean, it's nasty, and what you can do to help out now is to help these people out. Just go to Texas Cares, or actually go to our website for cbs19.tv, and the slash there for Texas Cares. Give what you can. It's 10 TEGNA stations in Texas. We're all coming together to get what we can for these people. All donations, every single penny, folks, goes to the Salvation Army so these people can get back on their feet. It's a very important cause, and it's very important that I get back and do the rest of the show too. So I'll get you in. Vanity plates are good for the ego and a big source of revenue for, well, many states. But did you know that many of them are just rejected every year for being too rude, profane, or filled with hate? So how are they flagged? Here's Andrew Horansky.
You can tell a lot about a person by what they drive, but what they put on their plates says even more.
What about Wash Me?
And no one knows quite like the BMV's Special Plates Committee.
It's probably the funnest part of the day.
A team of 8 that gathers each morning in Columbus to approve or deny requests.
You have to be creative, you have to be able to research, and you have to be able to think outside the box, most definitely.
That's because Ohioans so often try to pull fast ones, using foreign languages or abbreviations, even spelling backwards. Plates cannot be sexual or profane, offensive or violence-provoking, or reflect crude bathroom humor. And yet each year, dozens are denied on those very grounds.
Like, I saw one that was a-hole backwards, and I had to relook at it because they replaced the S's with 5s, and it was backwards.
We use our resources. Google, Translate, Urban Dictionary.
Along with the applicant's own reasons, which they give. On this day, a man wanted high 4 for his wife who lost a finger in an accident. SLV 1 was for a Star Wars spaceship, while 2 were nixed. One for being an obscure racial slur, the other for being a so-called hate plate.
What's offensive to this person may not be offensive to this person, but you have to consider both sides.
And what's coming? Sports, pop culture, even politics can shape what people pick.
A lot of cash me outsides, how about that?
What's made headlines today may be on tomorrow's plates.
It actually means ascending in Hindi.
They say they see spikes on Mondays, holidays, and at tax time when people get refunds, something that in the end is good for the state and even a good laugh.
What's wrong with Great Shag? I don't have a problem with that. After the break, we'll tell you how to help the victims of Saturday's tornadoes. We've made it really simple to donate. Check it out. We're back in 2.
I didn't do, but I continue learning. I never meant to do those things to you, and so I have to say before I go that I just want you to know I found out.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook Live. Bunch of views today. Good viewership. A lot of people reached. And I want to give a shout out to Antonio for tuning in. Thanks, buddy. And we also want to say hi to Olivia. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you catching us on Facebook Live. And who's behind me? No, I can see it. Alberto. Alberto, man. How are you? You want to say hi to the people on Facebook Live? You're a big Facebook Live person to begin with, aren't you? You get on a lot on your personal one, right?
I do.
So what's the benefits to watching instead of watching the commercials, watching us on Facebook Live?
You get to directly ask us any questions you might have, and we get to directly answer them to you. Straight to you. Straight from the horse's mouth.
You calling me a horse though?
Hey.
Oh, we still got a minute left. Folks, we've been doing this. We're going to do this after the break too, but just this is important. Texas Cares, CBS19.tv. I'm sure, are you going to put it up? Yeah, there it is. Go to CBS 19, sorry Scotty. Oh, you did? He was behind me. CBS 19, by Alberto. CBS19.tv, Texas Cares, your chance to donate to help out the victims of this past weekend's tornadoes that were so devastating and destructive here in East Texas. Even if you're not from this area, they definitely appreciate the help. Another reminder how you can help those who lost so much in last weekend's tornadoes. CBS 19 and our 10 Texas TEGNA stations are coming together for what we call Texas Cares. Our news partner, the Tyler Morning Telegraph, and our radio partners, Alpha Media, are offering additional community support as we raise donations for storm victims. You can donate to Texas Cares on our website, real easy, cbs19.tv/Texas Cares. Every single penny goes to the Salvation Army, and it will help tornado and storm victims right here in East Texas. If you're on Facebook, remember, you don't have to be from this area to help out. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. All right, that's a wrap. For me, producer Libby, and the entire Edge Nation crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I got some dancing to do. I can hear it. Same time, same Edge place.